Davey, defeat tonight for us in the Premier Sports Cup. How do you reflect on the match?
Frustrated, Carl. Frustrated. I think we were due the fans a performance, especially the away fans on Saturday, because the capitulation in the second half on Saturday, it wasn't expected. It became unexpected, but it was too easy after dominating the first half. And then we kind of get out of jail by saying, 10 men. So I think it gives us a wee bit of an out. Does that make sense? I think Motherwell 0-0. It should be 0-0, but we get out of jail because the SFA or the handball incident, right? So don't mean the SFA, but we kind of go out of jail with the defeat because it should be a 0-0 down the road. Second half at Aberdeen, 10 men. But it papered over the cracks slightly because that first half is nowhere near acceptable, myself included. I include myself in that. I should have changed the shape sooner, but I never. I don't think it should take 45 minutes to get going in a game of football, 2-0 get down. I don't agree with that. So the players and me, right, but they've got to take the individual responsibility on the park. You've got to win your 1v1 duels, and you're not going to win every 1v1 duel. But the amount of duels we won in the first half was minimal. And I don't think United came here and done a lot. They banged it forward, two strikers worked as a pair, and they got up and second balls. I don't think the game was any different from how I've just described it. You get in at half time, make a couple of tweaks and adjustments. Probably done it too late, but I don't think the shape was at fault for the 2 goals. One's a set play, so does it really matter what shape you are? Because it doesn't matter, you're in your shape to defend your set play. And the other one was kind of like a counter. Shamal's not got his distances right, but he should never get to that stage of the game. So I don't think the shape kills it, it doesn't help it. So I've got to take a bit of responsibility there. Change the shape, tweak it slightly, and I thought we were brilliant in the second half. And that might sound stupid because came away losing the game of football. Sean Kelly's hit the outside of the post, you're talking 4 inches, it's a goal. I think Big Isles I'm not sure it's offside, I think it gets a contact for the United player, but again, I think we came on, and I'm not trying to look for excuses, I'm genuinely not. I don't think the referee was great tonight. I don't know how you feel watching the game. See if it was my goalkeeper taking that long to take a by kick. See if it was my player that was walking off the park when he's 3 yards away from the other side of the park. We get yellow cards for these. But no, it wasn't the referee's fault we got beaten tonight, it was mine. Frustrated, Carl, because you can't give 2 teams 2 goals at a start. Can't give them 2 goals at a start.
You mentioned that first half performance. Obviously it probably gives us far too much to do in the second half. You can kind of take a bit of positives from the reaction. We got a goal back, Kelly hits the post as you say, but ultimately as you sort of said, not good enough. A little, I think the players showed fight, but again it's you can't just come out and play it at 2-0 as you say.
We're Livingston Football Club. We fight for 1 minute to 95 minutes, no 46 minutes to 95 minutes, and that was the disappointing aspect for me tonight. It was frustrating. I think the subs had an impact in the game. I don't necessarily think the boys that came off the park had a bad game either, but I just think collectively, and myself included, in the first half, we were miles off it, or we looked miles off it. It was as if we just thought we'd turn up one night and play, and that wasn't the message that was conveyed to the players all week or before the game. I knew Dundee United would have a reaction. I had a good idea what they were going to do. It would be Watt and Fletcher up top. I had a good idea what was going to happen. Joel's getting a bit of treatment off defenders now. We never seem to get fouls for it. But I think all over the park, including the bench, and mainly me, I think we've got to do better. Did I learn lessons tonight? A wee bit. I learnt that some players, and I need to give them a boot up the arse a wee bit more often, if I'm honest. I don't think that should be your job. That is, we're coming in here, I thought they bullied us, and that's a disappointing aspect for me in the first half. Positives. I thought the subs had a good impact in the game. I don't think the boys that came off the park necessarily had a bad game, but we needed to change the flow of the game, and I think we did that. we got in behind them on a number of occasions. We still could have made better decisions in the final third at times. We put Dylan Bahambula on the part, and I think Dylan gave us a wee bit of an extra edge. I thought Guthrie gave us a wee bit of an extra edge up top. He wanted to go and win his 1v1 battles in there. When teams drop off us, there's not a lot of space to play, so sometimes you've got to bang it, you've got to win your flick-ons, win your headers, and then the space opens up slightly because they'll drop off, and then the space opens up to go and play. But I think we were unlucky to come away for the game, but with nothing. But we cannot give teams 2 goals like that. Can't give them 2 goals like that.
A quick turnaround now, back to league action on Saturday, and again, as you mentioned, you say you've had a few lessons tonight about putting that into practice on Saturday as we welcome Hearts.
See the lessons we got tonight, Carl. The lessons are there every week in the Premier League. You can't do the basics that I spoke about. You cannot not do them. You've got to do them. They're the fundamentals of playing football at this level of football. You've got to go and be competitive. You've got to squeeze the lines. You've got to win your 1v1 duels. You've got to be aggressive. You've got to be physical. It's the Scottish Premier League. You've got to do all those things. If you don't do certain parts of the game, you're never going to come out in the winning end of the game. Hearts, I think it's going to be a difficult game. I think by a good distance, and I know they could beat tonight, but by a good distance with a full squad, I think they're easily the third best team in Scotland. So it's not going to be an easy game. We're now going into a run the next 2 fixtures, which are extremely difficult. But it's only us that can go and try and get a foothold in these games. It's only us in the park that can go and try and pick points up. I'm under no illusions how hard it's going to be on Saturday. I'm under no illusions how hard it's going to be next Saturday. But do you know what? Collectively we've got to do better, myself included. So I've never done this, and I would have done it on Saturday if I was probably in the changing room too long, to be fair. I think I owe the fans an apology for Saturday's capitulation. Whether it came men or no, we shouldn't be shipping 4 goals in the second half. So apologies for that. I think we carried a wee bit of that passiveness into tonight's start, which is unlike us since the league started. And I know this is a cup section, but unlike us. And then it looked like more like our old selves in the second half. So my job's to make us more like our old selves every minute of the game. No 45 minutes, no 30 minutes, no 25 minutes, no 60 minutes. We've got to show that level of commitment for the full 90. And I'm the manager, and it's up to me to make sure that I get that, and I will get that.